Today we have a very special guest joining us today. He's the former Ancient Aliens TV host for Tucson, Arizona, as well as the leading UFO investigator in Phoenix, Arizona. He runs a Facebook Live show called Petroglyphs in the Sky. I would call him the king of the petroglyphs and one of the best UFO hunters in the United States. Give a nice insertion welcome, Jeff Woolwine.
The heck is that thing? It's been spotted over Phoenix at two different times by two different people. We'll talk to both the witnesses tonight.
Step into the newsroom tonight at 8 on 3TV, Arizona's Family.
To talk about some video that happened daytime.
Yeah, Mike, as you know, we do get a lot of strange videos here at 3TV, and we get red dots, blue dots, all shiny objects, all kinds of stuff in here. But this one, well, just take a look.
Like right here, this is where I zoomed in for, I think the first time. And you can definitely see it. It has a humanoid shape to it.
When Rich Giordano says humanoid, he means it.
Humanoid means it could be either man or something like a man, as we perceive a humanoid being, humanoid shape. It's got a human, it looks like a human. Could be a human alien.
Giordano was in his North Phoenix backyard just 2 weeks ago when he saw it moving overhead.
It's got to be balloons. I always think balloons first anyway. So I grabbed the binoculars and looked up and noticed it was humanoid looking. And the object is moving north, probably at a walking pace. It's really slow. And when I had it on the tripod on the camera, you can see that the object's going in a straight line. So it's not bobbing or meandering around. It's got a purpose. It's going somewhere, and it's going in a straight line.
He says the video doesn't do it justice, and he might never have told anyone, except for one thing.
And there's only one other guy who has something like this, and it's, Jeff Woolwine.
I noticed this object that seemed to be leaving the mountain.
We've met Jeff Woolwine before. He spends hours every day scanning the skies and the mountain in South Phoenix for mystery objects, and he gets a lot. But this one, captured in April, is really bizarre.
It seemed to climb up at a kind of a high altitude, roughly about maybe 1,000 feet. I don't believe any balloon would be walking in the sky like that, and it actually changed directions. It was going west there for a while, and then it seemed to make a U-turn and start to come right over the apartment complex.
Woolwine calls it a tadpole, a shape he found not only in the sky, but also in a book about ancient Hohokam petroglyphs on South Mountain. Petroglyphs he's seen with his very own eyes.
That's telling me that the prehistoric people that first settled here in Phoenix more than likely saw these things in the sky also, and the only way to record this was to carve it on the rocks.
Could this object really be an extraterrestrial visitor? Some think it might be a test flight, someone flying a jetpack. Others think it's a set of balloons. Rich Giordano captured something very similar a year ago, and he's still scratching his head in wonder.
I just get excited. It's just like getting ready, it's like you're going on a roller coaster and you're about to go over the first hill. That's what it feels like. It's like you don't know what's going to happen next.
Could be anything, but you can see this story again on our website, azfamily.com. Check it out, see what you think. When I hear the word humanoid, that really kind of freaks me out.
Oh, it's some kid that had a balloon at the Phoenix Zoo and he let
I
go
don't
of
know.
it.
Those petroglyphs are really cool. I'm fascinated by those.
Maybe Royal knows. He knows everything.
He does.
And
Hello, 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 hello. Yay! Hello, and how is everybody doing tonight? I tell you what, man, we have a great show tonight. We are going to talk about these flying snakes. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Flying serpents. Hello, welcome to the Petroglyphs in the Sky Ultimate UFO Show. I am your host, Jeff Woolwine. Glad you are here tonight in this crazy 2020 year. Oh my God, is it almost over with? Woo! We're rounding the corner. Rounding the corner. We're get over this year eventually. Thanks for joining us. You know, we're going to talk about these flying snakes that everybody seems to be reporting lately. And, you know, when I first discovered this, you know, back here in Phoenix, Arizona, back in 2005, you know, no one believed me, dude. No one believed me. Everybody thought, you know, oh, he's filming balloons, you know. Oh, you know, this guy's on drugs. He don't know what he's talking about. You know, I mean, even when I was doing, you know, the UFO Hunter show on the History Channel, they're telling me, dude, you're filming some bizarre stuff. They're saying the public is not ready for this stuff yet. And I'm like, dude, the public better get ready for it because it's here. And you know what? The Native Americans saw them also thousands of years ago, and we're going to talk about that here tonight. We're going to show some videos, not only that I recorded here in Phoenix, Arizona, but also from around the world. So we got this new sighting that just came in from New York. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but we're going to see it tonight. In case you guys haven't seen it, you're going to see it tonight live. And so thanks for being here. You know, it's interesting that you know, people are just, you know, saying, look, you know, you're filming balloons and flares and you got to be crazy. But you know what? There's so much history. There's so much history involved on how these how these flying serpents or flying worms are actually real, because we have to look at the petroglyphs, the rock art, you know, anywhere from 1,000 to some say, you know, close to 1,700 years old, maybe even 2,000 years old. We don't really know. We can't carbon date the petroglyphs, can't carbon date the rocks, you know, but we can carbon date the pottery shards left behind, and we carbon dated them anywhere from 1,200 to roughly around 1,700 AD. If you will. Some say it would even go even further. You know, there's a lot of these petroglyphs, you know, have been recarved to keep telling the story from generation to generation. So these petroglyphs could have been recarved over a period of time. So, you know, we really don't know how old these glyphs are. You know, they might have been here since man walked the earth. You know, I strongly believe that, you know. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. Find me on YouTube, The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky. Follow me right here on Facebook. Become my friend. Send me your UFO videos. Send me your petroglyph photographs. Let's talk about UFOs. Let's talk about what's going on in our skies today that we can verify. That's not hearsay. Not hearsay. Oh, we think this spaceship went over Phoenix, Arizona, but nobody got video of it. You know, people out there selling books and selling movie tickets and off of hearsay. Oh, this flying craft went over Phoenix, Arizona. I've been doing this for many years. I think I'm the only UFO investigator here in Phoenix, Arizona that has called that bluff. I cannot find any evidence of anything going over the city of Phoenix. What is credible? What do we have that is credible? We have these 4 videos, maybe 5, all right? That's only a handful of videos of what really happened March 13th of 1997. And what is it? It's lights over by the west side of South Mountain, formerly known to the Indians as Mount Sepoa, Mountain of Mercy. Okay? And You know, these lights are over there on the west side, man, far west side. Are they moving? No. Are they going over the city? No. What does the video show? The video shows these lights coming in not at a V shape, but as an arc. Okay, silently, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and they're making a chain. Okay, they're not flying over the city. There's a lot of hearsay. Oh, we think this spaceship went over Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, going 8 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, and no one can videotape this. No one can get a photograph of this spaceship. But a handful of people can film lights on the far west of the valley. This makes sense. This makes no sense. Okay, it's been, over 20 years now, and not one single photograph, video, anything going over the city of Phoenix. But what is credible? What can we verify? What is credible? What's credible is the Native American rock art, the petroglyphs, all right, that's been carved around the Valley of the Sun. And the story of the Phoenix Lights, the story of the Hohokam Indians, the story of what really happened here in this mighty desert is carved in stone around this valley. Come on, man. Let's open up our eyes a little bit further, okay? You know, I came around in 2004. I've been seeing UFOs ever since I was a kid. I was a native here in Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised. You know, I've been seeing UFOs since I was a kid here in this valley. You know, and I didn't really start watching them back until I started seeing a lot of them in the sky, and that just made me go on a quest, on a hunt to figure out what the hell was going on in our skies. You know, so I went on a quest, dude. I dedicated so many years of my life to figure out what the hell was going on, and I think I did, and I think I have the proof, that the verification, okay, not the hearsay, no hearsay, but what we can prove, what we can verify, okay, is the petroglyphs, okay? So when I came onto the scene here in 2004, I started off with the Phoenix Lights in 2004 on the east side of South Mountain, over a major electrical power plant. These things absorb energy. That's the whole reason why they're hanging around South Mountain. That's the whole reason why they're in the Valley of the Sun, is because of that mountain, is because of the fault line, is because of the energy. Okay, especially when we're talking about these spirals that are carved on the mountains out there. These are doorways. Now, I'm not just saying this, because I'm just saying it. No, dude. This has been told through generation, through generation. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before. I'm proving it this time because, it's just been a theory. Oh, we think the Native Americans saw UFOs and recorded them on the rocks, but no one has actually proven this. I have proven this over a many-year time period, watching South Mountain and watching these beings, these entities come and go from this mountain out here. Am I calling these things spaceships? Am I calling these things craft? No. I am calling these things living beings, living entities. The Mayans called it Quetzalcoatl. They saw that flying serpent in the sky. And I'm here to tell you that flying serpent is flying around here in Phoenix, Arizona, and quite possibly your neck of the woods also. You need to start paying attention. Stop looking for hearsay and start looking for what's really here. And we're talking about lights. We're talking about orbs. We're talking about strange looking things up there that kind of resemble balloons, but don't act like the balloons. That is the secret. That is the key here. So many people are looking for spaceships and crafts, in the sky, but when they see one of these beings, they just blow it off and they assume that these are balloons because they're changing shape, they're changing colors, they're moving differently, okay? Now, balloons are all over the damn place. They go with the wind. All right, come on. We don't want to get into the balloon subject here. All right, we all know what balloons look like, but some of these critics, you see these things and they're moving slowly, dude. They're taking shape. They're taking form. What does the Native Americans say about this, boy? I'm telling you, they're saying these are their spirits and they're changing shape. They're morphine. They're anthropomorphine. They're changing colors. Dude, that's what's going on here, man. That is what we can verify. Don't get me wrong. The scientists have already found 7 Earth-like planets around outside of our solar system. And what's to say, yes, there is an advanced civilization out there who has made the technology, who has made a spaceship, who has visited Earth, not only now, but in the past, maybe in the future. Don't get me wrong. Sure, I'm open to that. But until we have the proof, and I'm not talking about somebody who's writing a book, all right, who can't prove it. I'm not talking about these CGI videos, CGI photographs, all this bullshit. I'm talking about what we can prove. Until we can proof positive of a spaceship and a craft and somebody being abducted but not being able to steal something off the ship and bring it home with them, I'm going with what we can prove. And what can we prove is what the first peoples are saying about these things who first lived on this land. Obviously, they should know, don't you think? They were the first ones here. And what do they say about these things that we see in the skies today? What do they say about the Phoenix Lights? Uh-oh. Do they say spaceships? Uh-oh. Do they say crafts? Uh-oh. Do they say little green guys from Mars? No, man. They're calling these things gods. They're calling these things spirits. They're calling these things shapeshifter anthropomorphs. That's what the archaeologist calls them anyway. But that's basically what we're dealing with here. Okay, I was the first one to prove this. I was the first one to come out with this, in 2005 when I moved to the mountain. Because what, in 2004, oh my God, I'm making the news. I'm seeing the lights out there. I did a lot of news reports, and the end result in 2004 is myself and everybody else is seeing these flares 150 miles away in a town called Tucson, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Oh my God. Look at the data, dude. Look at the evidence, man. Those lights are huge. These orange amber lights, these Phoenix lights are huge. They're not 150 miles away. They're not, even 15 miles away. They're right here in our neighborhood, dude. They're right there next to that mountain, all right? Are they spaceships? Going into this, I'm thinking that these are crafts, that these lights in the sky and these things that we see up there are spaceships and the little green guys in there, until I understood the petroglyphs, okay? Until I saw these things from my own eyes. I saw these things. I videotaped these things. I watched these things come and go from South Mountain, for at least 3 years, and they're continuing to do that today. It's been going on for thousands of years. It's a pattern. Once you understand this pattern, then you'll understand, how to see it more, and you can understand the pattern on my later shows. We won't get into that. Make sure you go out there and get my book, The Phoenix Lights, Petroglyphs in the Sky, True Stories, Myths, Legends, and UFOs over Phoenix. Now, this book talks about the real history of Phoenix, Arizona. It talks about exactly what these Phoenix Lights is, according to the Native Americans, according to the petroglyphs, according to Earth history. Earth's history. Earth's history does not call these things spaceships. They call these things living entities. This is the real history of Phoenix, Arizona. In this book, it talks about what happened to the Hohokam Indians. It talks about what these petroglyphs are representing. Okay, and it's not just my interpretation. No, dude, I took this thing further. Not only did I hike South Mountain and figure out the petroglyphs, not only did I contact a Native American shaman, all right, who works at the city government department, or the city government department down there at the Pueblo Indian Art Museum, dude. I called him out, and I had him go up there and teach me about the petroglyphs, talking about giants, talking about spiral doorways, talking about spirits, talking about shape-shifting, talking about lizard men. Okay, so I heard it from the horse's mouth, dude. Okay, I'm not saying anything. I'm not making this shit up, dude. This is what this is the same story that has been going on for centuries, for thousands of years. This is it. Okay, so I took it to the next level. I just didn't videotape a light and say, "Ooh, look at that spaceship in the air. Ooh, let's see." I took this to a more higher level, dude. I investigated what was here. I called out a shaman who took me up on South Mountain, talked about the petroglyphs. Then I hiked the mountain for many years. Okay, my messed up knees are proof positive, dude. That mountain just killed me, dude. All right, but I was there. I found out all this information. I'm bringing these petroglyphs down from the mountain to you. Okay, I'm bringing this information to you. Okay, because I feel this information has been overlooked. All right. And so I took this to another level. I went to the Phoenix Library, downtown library. I looked up everything on South Mountain. Oh my God. Who verifies all this stuff? The first park ranger, Charles Holbrook from the 1930s, talks about the Mayans, how the Mayans were here in the Valley of the Sun. Talk about what happened to the Holcomb Indians here. Talks about the tombs, and you can find a photograph of one of the tombs on my website down below. Okay, go to my website down below. You can see one of the tombs that I discovered that Charles Holbrook was protecting. Okay, and the archaeologists don't even admit that there's tombs there. The archaeologist doesn't admit that there's sacrificing altars out there. But Charles Holbrook, in his writings, talk about the sacrifice to these Phoenix Lights, to these entities that we see in the skies today. It's all there. It has all been there. After Charles Holbrook talked about this stuff when he was alive and hiking South Mountain and protecting South Mountain and all its gold that's buried in South Mountain and all these tombs. He knew it, dude. He talked about it in his writings, man. Go to my website, check out check out who Holbrook is, check out the writings. All the writings is there for you to read, for you to understand. Okay, I don't hide anything. I'm not selling my shit. All right. Matter of fact, this book, I don't get any money for them. I don't make any money from my books at all. This is not about money. This is about getting the information to you. Okay, and what the Phoenix Lights really is, from a true investigator who's been on South Mountain, who is a native to Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised, who's been seeing these UFOs ever since he was a kid. Not some outsider lady that comes in and says, "Oh, there's a hearsay of a craft going over Phoenix, so let's write a book on hearsay. Let's exploit 1997, March 13th. Let's make movies. Let's write a book about nothing." Okay, how about taking the word of someone who's actually been on South Mountain, studied that mountain for 3 years, hiked that mountain all these years, understands the petroglyphs, called out a Native American shaman, took him up there on the mountain, showed me the petroglyphs, went out there in the Phoenix Library, opened up the government files that has been sealed for the last 80 years since Holbrook died. Okay, when Holbrook died, all this information was tucked away. I'm bringing this information back to you that has been covered up for the last 80 years. It talks about the tombs, talks about the Mayans, talks about the gold, talks about the giants that walked here in the Valley of the Sun. Boy, I tell you what, man, when they rebuilt Phoenix, with the Phoenix of the fiery bird from the ashes of the formal civilization, boy, they failed to tell you where that formal civilization really was. And I'm telling you, the story is deep. The story is scary. The story is sacrifice. The story is gold. The story is Mayans. The story is the Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights is a part of Phoenix, Arizona history. Point blank. I can prove it. There it is. Pick up the book. Let me know what you think. All right. Let's get into this. Let's get into these flying serpents. I came out with this in 2005. I first discovered this stuff, dude. I'm like, dude, wait a minute. These things are not spaceships, man. Oh, my God. They're flying by my window. They're leaving the mountain, and they're coming over and seeing me, and I'm filming them. They know I'm here. They know I'm up on the mountain talking to these petroglyphs, invoking the spirits, because that's what some of these petroglyphs represent, dude. Some of these petroglyphs has the power to invoke the spirits. And I tell you what, brothers and sisters, man, I was there. I have done it. How do you think I got so many sightings on South Mountain, dude? How do you think I got that flying serpent to come out of South Mountain, as you're going to see tonight? How do you think I got it to come out of the mountain? Dude, I was up there. I was up there investigating the petroglyphs, understanding the doorways, okay? The spirals. We'll go into the spirals here in a minute when I show you this petroglyph here. And I said, dude, come and see me. They have the power to invoke. You go up there and talk to them, acknowledge them, okay? They will come and see you. I said, hey, dude, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. Why don't you guys come and see me? About a few days to maybe a week later, I'm getting my son ready for school. I'm right there. I'm perched about maybe a mile away from South Mountain. I'm up on the second floor of my apartment building. Okay, I'm in the kitchen. I have my camera out my kitchen window. I'm watching the east side of South Mountain. I'm getting my son ready for school, and lo and behold, what the hell happens? Around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, this serpent comes out of a canyon, out of a spiral doorway canyon, climbs up into the sky heading west, goes about 1,000 feet up, comes around, all right, comes right over my apartment complex. I'm videotaping this sucker, dude. He's up there. You know, he's doing all kinds of ship-shaping maneuvers and shit. You know, it's crazy. I'm filming it, you know. I go up there to investigate the mountain more closely, and what do I find? I see a stick figure looking up at a flying snake. We're going to show you that petroglyph here in a minute. You know, a lot of people say that, these ancient aliens, they came down here and they taught people, how to survive, or these things. They taught people, the secret ways. These aliens and these spaceships came down, because we have these carvings. Okay, we have these statues, of people in spacesuits. Okay, aliens. They say aliens in spacesuits, but actually, when you investigate it, when you actually take a look at these photographs, and I'm not talking about the fake photograph. There are so many fake photographs going around of fake carvings of little big-eyed praying mantis, alien guys, and them coming out of spaceships. I mean, that's bullshit. Those type of carvings are not credible. Okay, there's even statues out there trying to manipulate what's really going on here. That's the big cover-up here. That's what the cover-up is, man. They're trying to say that they're spaceships and aliens and all this shit, but they can't prove it. But what's really here is what some of these biblical scrolls talk about, what we can verify on the mountains out here. And it's scary shit. And that's the reason why they're not telling you what's going on here. They would rather make you believe that, spaceships, technology from another planet, because that's what we can handle. That's what we can accept. That's what we understand. We understand technology. We understand spaceships. We understand that type of stuff. All right, but when it comes down to supernatural beings or living entities, or light beings or flying snakes, okay, that is a whole new level, dude. That is a whole new subject, all right, that for some is scary, and I don't blame you, dude. The shit is scary. I know. I've been a witness to that shit. All right, I've seen it, man. I've seen these snakes, these flying serpents come out of the mountain. You're going to see them today. I've seen these things, okay? And I can tell you, if it was spaceships, then I would say spaceships. But I'm doing a 180 here. I'm going down one road because this is what everybody is trying to tell me, all right? I'm going down that road, but the road isn't making any sense to what is over here that I can prove that what's credible. Okay, the evidence is there is no evidence down that road. The evidence is down this road over here. All right, I'm sorry, I can't go down that road if I can't prove it. All right, I'm going to go down this road and take a look at it because all the answers, all the information is leading me down this road this way. All right, so I'm going to go that way. And I went that way, and what happened? It's telling me that these things are living creatures, that these things have always been with us. Okay, that's what the Native Americans are telling us. These things is not technologies. They're alive, dude. They're living creatures. Just as the oceanographers are finding new species of life below the ocean, boy, I tell you what, this is a new species of life that these people who understand that are here aren't telling us, man. They're not telling us that this is part of our history. This isn't anything new. This is part of our history, dude. And yes, these creatures, these beings, these entities, these phoenix lights, okay, each light is a living creature, is a living being. You see a light out there, not a spaceship, a living creature. Look at the fireflies. You know how the fireflies are the lightning bugs, they light up? That's them, dude. That's how they were created. That's exactly what these beings are. That's exactly what these light beings are. That's them. They light up, man. Especially when they're full of energy. When they're down here in the atmosphere, above our mountains, above our energy sources, absorbing the energy, sucking up that energy, dude, you're gonna glow. You're gonna glow bright, also, dude. You're using up all that energy, sure, man. You're gonna go lights up, man. Fuck yeah, dude. Come on. All right, and that's exactly what's going on. You see that light in the sky? They're absorbing that energy. That's a doorway that's up there. Right, there's energy up there, and they're tapping that energy, okay, and grabbing that energy, and they're lighting up. They're lighting up because of the energy. That's it, brother. All right, so look at the Indians. Okay, so what does Charles Holbrook say about the first Native Americans who first arrived in Phoenix, Arizona, who first arrived in this Valley of the Sun? Okay, so it wasn't always a desert. You know, it was like a tropical light landscape. Okay, so these beings, or when the Indians got there, they didn't know how to survive. This is the way the story goes. So these beings came up out of the sand world. It came down from the heavens, and they taught these people how to survive. They taught them the secret incantations. They taught them the secret ways. They taught them how to survive, and they told them a lot of stuff that we were not meant to know about. To be honest with you, we're not supposed to know that these things exist. This is a secret. But so many of them are in the sky, dude. We can't help but fucking notice the damn things, right? All right, this is a big secret, man. This is what they don't want you to know about, that these things are real. These things are biblical. These things came back from ancient times. All right, and what happened? Every time, because the Hopis say that we're in the fourth world, right? We're about ready to enter the fifth. And each time the world changes, these beings are here to help, guide, and mislead mankind, just like last time. Hohokam Indians, Hohokam. Hohokam is a Pima word for the people who are gone, the people who are missing, the people who got taken away. Because the archaeologist wants us to believe, well, they simply migrated somewhere else, because we can't verify where they went. These people were the masters of their race for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, man, they were masters of the canal systems. They were masters of the land. It was a glory hole here, man. You know, in this desert. Tribes from all over the nations used to gather here in this valley and watch these things in the sky, these phoenix lights, these flying serpents, these orbs, these crooked snakes, these flying crosses, these flying diamonds. You know, this was their gods. It was a big thing, dude. Everybody came. Phoenix, Arizona, back in the day, this mountain, Mount Sepoa, now known South Mountain, was a major mountain. It still is. It's major sacred. All right, because they came from all around the nations, and they watched these beings perform sacrifice to these beings. There's altars out there. Look at my book. You can see one of them. There's a couple of them in my book, actually. All right, and so this went on for 1,000 years until one day, and according to Charles Holbrook, they stopped the sacrifice, and when they stopped the sacrifice, that's when things started to dry up. The waterfalls from the mountains started to dry up. I mean, like I said before, it wasn't a desert here. It was not a desert. It was a tropical-like landscape, trees and grass and just beautiful things going on until the sacrificing stopped, and it upsetted these gods, these lights, these major things in the sky, and everything started to dry up. All right, and then it happened. Some say a meteor came from the east. All right, wipe the people out. But others say, and the petroglyphs depict, that these people, the Hohokam Indians, were taken away by these creatures in the sky. Were taken away by the phoenix lights. Were taken away by the diamonds. Were taken away by the flying serpents, the Quetzalcoatls. This is what the petroglyphs depict on my website down below. You can see a petroglyph of an orb, and he's got this line, and he's taken this man up into the sky. There are so many petroglyphs that I discovered out there on South Mountain with the same story of what the oral tradition is saying from some of these Native Americans that I've talked to. Okay, I mean, Charles Holberg says that in his writings, locked away in the Phoenix Library, and some of these the Native Americans I've talked to out here, they tell me, that look, the devil, dude, the devil came from the east and took the people away, and so my point was, each time man needs these things to survive. Okay, so when we see this picture here to the left of me, to the right of me, I guess, you can see what it looks like. Look at that. Is that an alien guy in there? No, that's not an alien guy. That's a Mayan guy. Okay, and he's in the mouth of the flying serpent. A flying serpent who flies. Quetzalcoatl, dude. Quetzalcoatl, the flying snake. And so what the artist is trying to tell us is that they learn not from aliens. It's not from outer space. It's more inner space, brothers. All right? A lot of people think that these things come from another world. Studying these things, watching these things, understanding the biblical texts, and understanding the rock art that matches, okay, and that's the key, that's the secret, dude. A lot of people, you're talking religion, dude. Don't talk about the Bible. Don't talk about biblical text, man, because you're talking about religion. I don't want to hear about religion. Dude, it's not about religion. Kick religion out the door, and let's look at these texts and what they're saying. And when you do, it's telling us that this is a history of the world. And it tells us that these beings, these creatures, these lights in the skies, these flying serpents, a pillar of cloud by day, a pillar of fire by night, led Moses and the Israelites out of fucking Egypt. Come on now. It's all there. The same stuff that we read in these biblical scrolls is the same stuff that we're seeing in the skies today, is the same stuff that the Native Americans saw back in the day and carved their sightings on the rocks out here. Talk about spaceships? Are they showing spaceships? No, dude. They're talking about flying serpents, flying snakes, flying orbs, lights, things like that. Stuff that's alive, dude. Not technology, but living creatures. All right, and what do they say? They say they came up from the sand world. They came up out of the ground. They came down from the sky. They live here. This has always been their home. This is a major, major, major conspiracy. All right, a major conspiracy. You won't hear this anywhere else, dude, unless you really look into this going on, and like I said before, I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before. I'm just repeating. I'm repeating what everyone else who has this knowledge, the Native Americans, all this information has always been here. And does it say spaceship? No. We have a lot to cover, so I need to move on. Here we go again. You see this? Now look at this. This is this looks to be India. This is from India. And look at the serpent. You see the serpent there? Look at that. Look at that. Yep. So why? Why are they, worshiping the serpent, dude? Why is the snake so relevant here? Why? Did they see it in the sky? Yes. Did Eve talk to a serpent that came up out of the ground? Yes. The serpent, Quetzalcoatl, the flying worm, the flying serpent, is what we need to look for, is what we need to record, is what we need to understand what's here. Now, this is petroglyphs here in Arizona. All right, this is on what people like to call a mountain, but it's known as Shaw Butte Mountain. Okay, over there in Tempe. All right, now look what we have here. We have a stick figure man looking up at a flying snake. Many flying snakes. Look at that there. Look at that. Let's examine this petroglyph here. Okay, this was carved way before technology was even around, man. This is their sighting. This is the only way they knew how to ensure through their generations, of what's here and what's to come. Okay, so these are prehistoric photographs. This is not graffiti. This is a UFO sighting. Now, they carved these glyphs in places where the event took place at. This is the reason why we find petroglyphs on one side of the area, but we don't find any petroglyphs on the other side of the area, because over here on this side of the area is where the event took place at. Okay, this is where the sighting took place at. Okay, so that's why you're not supposed to remove the petroglyphs. You remove the petroglyphs, you take the glyphs away, you're erasing the story of what happened there. You're taking away that story of what happened there. Okay, when you look at these petroglyphs, you have to look at the whole landscape, not just the petroglyphs itself. Look at the rock that is carved on. Look at the landscape around it, because the artist is including the landscape in with the art. Just don't take a picture of the petroglyph. Take a picture of the whole landscape, dude, because that is what he is talking about. Let's tuck this picture away and save it for later, because that will be relevant on what's to come. Here we go. Now this petroglyph here, okay? No, it's not a what everybody thinks it is. I'm not going to go there, but no, it's not. It is a worm, okay? This is over here on the White Tank Mountains, okay? This is one of those sky worms, one of those Quetzalcoatlus. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. I'm going to show you the video that I filmed, okay? So yeah, and see that crack there? That's the doorway. These cracks are doorway. There's a petroglyph coming up that talks about the spirals here. We're gonna talk about spirals here in a minute. But yeah, look at that. That is a worm. Okay. Let's hang on to this one. Let's hang on to this one, because that's gonna be relevant later on in the show also. Here we go again. Now look at this. This is over here on the White Tank Mountains also. Okay, a lot of people would mistake that for a spaceship craft, okay? This is not a craft. This is not a rolled up cigarette. One of them funny cigarettes. No, this is a prehistoric photograph of what was seen in the sky. Okay? This is not a craft. This is a living creature, a living being. That is a prehistoric photograph of what was seen in the sky. It's not graffiti. It's what we're here. It's what we're seeing today. Here's a petroglyph here. Now this is on South Mountain. This is kind of interesting. I kind of threw this in. Okay, I miss this panel. I haven't seen this panel in over 10 years. So I miss it. It's kind of hard to get to. But there's a lot of relevance to that. And this is in my book also. Once you get my book, there's a bigger story to this that involves the equinox and the light and shadows effects. But right now we're going to talk about these petroglyphs. Okay, so let's examine this glyph here. Let's blow this up. Let's blow this sucker up. Okay, so let's look at this coyote. See the coyote on the bottom left there? Look at that. He is looking up. He's looking up at this hole. Look at that hole right there. See that hole? I think that's about as big as I can get it. That's about as big as I can get it, okay? So if you look real closely, it's really faded, but there is a spiral that's carved and going into that hole there, okay? So there's a spiral representing a doorway, okay? This is a doorway, all right? It's a doorway in, all right? Now look at the lizard guy here. Look at the guy. See, he's about ready to enter that doorway. Okay, now look at all these little funny looking things. All right, look over here to the bottom right. Look over here to the left. Look up here to the upper left. Okay, look at that. Look at that stuff. That's exactly what we're seeing in the skies today. We are seeing these creatures, not balloons, not spaceships, but these creatures. And this is representing a doorway for these creatures, for the Phoenix Lights, for these living entities that come and go from these sacred mountains out here. Now, so a little bit of history on these spirals real quick. So the Native Americans and the ancient ones they're saying that these spirals are doorways doorways to the underworld. Okay, these are doorways to the underworld. All right, and so they're coming and going from the underworld. All right, and the spirals that go clockwise, that's a doorway in. A spiral that goes counterclockwise, that's a doorway out. Now these spirals that end like on a crack of that boulder or the side of the panel on which is carved at, if there's a crack or a crevice or a hole there, okay, and the spiral is ending right there, dude, that is the emergence point. That is the doorway in or out. That's where these beings are coming and going from. Now, you know, when the shaman is telling me all this, when the Native American was explaining to me all this, I'm still thinking, you know, spaceships, technologies, nuts and bolts. You know, I'm like, dude, how can a big spaceship get into a little crack like that, dude? That's virtually impossible, right? Until I actually witnessed what was really going on here. You know, these creatures, these beings, these spirits, if you will, these entities, these living creatures, all right, are coming out of the sky. They're solid. They're changing shape. They're changing colors. They're coming down on this mountain here, all right? And right before they go into the doorway, I understand why they call them spirits, because they kind of magically like start to see through them. They're like ghosts, okay? They're not solid anymore. You can see through them. And then all of a sudden they absorb themselves into the rock. Okay, same thing when they come out. All right, they're like a ghost. They're a spirit. They're something. All right, they're coming up out of the rock, and then when they get like a little higher, they become more solid. They're moving slowly. They're changing shape. They're changing color. Okay, they're leaving the mountain. Okay. And when I first saw this, I was like, dude, what did I just witness here? What did I just videotape? Because I've videotaped this many, many times, you know? And so the Native Americans and the ancient ones wants us to say that these things are actually going down into the underworld. The Mayans talk about the underworld, things like that. But let's look at this in a scientific way. Let's examine what's going on here. Yes. We've already verified. We already know. We've witnessed this. They're coming and going from the mountain. Why? Why that mountain? Okay, why are there spirals carved on that mountain in so many places? Why are there doors all over that mountain in so many places? Why? Okay? And what's the purpose here? What is attracting these creatures to this area? I'll tell you what, going into this, it took me a few years to understand this, and it has everything to do with the sun. Okay, when the sun gets in the right position of the sky, it opens up these doorways on natural energy sources around the globe, such as fault lines and mountains that have been created by fault lines, such as South Mountain, formerly known Mount Sapoa, Mountain of Mercy. All right, volcanoes and man-made energy sources such as nuclear facilities. Now, I've seen these lights over nuclear facilities before. I've seen the videos, dude. It's real. These lights, these creatures is absorbing the energy over these energy spots. Okay, remember in the beginning of the show, I told you that in 2004, I'm videotaping the Phoenix lights over an energy spot, over a power plant. That power plant is bored down into South Mountain's fault line. Okay, and it's absorbing the energy. It's using the energy there to turn on our lights. Okay, they're extracting that energy from the fault lines. Okay, and they're harnessing it, and they're using the energy to help out the city here in the Valley of the Sun. Okay, that's one energy spot. That's just one electrical power plant that sits there for Phoenix. There's many, but when that power plant was turned on in the summer of 2004, all right, it attracted these lights right there, dude. I have hundreds of videos of these lights over that power plant in 2004. And what are they doing? They're coming in, they're absorbing that energy, and then they're taking off. All right, they're slowly coming in, they're slowly disappearing. Okay, so when you look at, because you know the Hohokams, they didn't worship the sun, but they felt the sun was like a tyrant god. Okay, and so they watched the sun as it cruised across the sky during the changing of the seasons. Now, There's a lot of Native Americans out there, a lot of ancient structures. Stonehenge is one of them. When the sun aligns with these stones, like in the middle and stuff, during the equinox and the solstice and blah, blah. The archaeologist wants us to believe, it's time for us to plant corn. No, bullshit. That has nothing to do with planting corn. Okay. It has everything to do with these things in the sky. Okay. So during the equinox and the solstice, these things like in between those two areas, those things are here. All right. But then when we get close to this equinox or close to the solstice, they start to disappear. Okay. So in Phoenix, Arizona, this is what I discovered. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August. That is the hot times. Those are the hot times to see these entities on South Mountain, to see these creatures in the Valley of the Sun. They are here. Okay, they are in Arizona, not just Phoenix, but Arizona. Okay, why? Because the sun is in the right position of these fault lines. When the sun gets in the right position of these energy lines, it opens up like a doorway. Okay, it opens up a doorway, and it's like a fusion effect. All right, and it attracts these beings to these energy sources. Okay, Skinwalker Ranch, man. What was it? Episode 4, season 1. Okay, they were testing my theory out. They shot these rockets full of sensors up into the sky and see if there's any energy up there. Okay, and like I said before, I've been saying I first discovered this in 2005. I told the History Channel, I told Ancient Aliens, I told all these cable shows, and they didn't believe me. But now they're actually now taking a second look at all my information that I've gathered all these years, and they're saying, look, maybe this guy is right. So they proved they tried to prove my case here. They shot these rockets up there, all right, to see if there was any energy up there in the sky, and lo and behold, they found out that there was. And what was up there at the same time? A light in the sky, absorbing that energy. I rest my case. Okay, I've been saying this all along. Okay, and so when the spiral ends down, there's a doorway into the underworld. When the spiral ends up, there's a doorway, there's a vortex in the sky. Okay, that's when the sun gets in the right position of that energy field up there, and it attracts these beings. That's why, these things just seem to magically appear in the sky. They're coming in through that doorway, dude. They're coming in through that vortex. They're absorbing that energy. They're glowing light. We can see them. They're full of energy. They're happy. Now they're on their merry way to the next energy source. That's basically what was going on in Phoenix. They're leaving South Mountain, leaving that energy source, leaving that intergalactic gas station, right? Going across the valley into another mountain, into another energy source. That's it. I discovered that back in 2005, and I watched these beings. It took me like another couple years. The first year, it was cool. They were here that year, that month. They were gone that month. They came back that month. The changing of the seasons, changing of the equinox and the solstice, blah, blah. The sun's moving, so they're not here in Arizona. Where did they go? They went to California, or not California. They went to Florida, right? They went somewhere else on the other side of the planet, right? But after that equinox or after that solstice, boom, they're over here now. Okay, this is the reason why we're not seeing anything here in Arizona right now, is because they're not here. But after this equinox, after the solstice, dude, they're going to come back. All right, so that is the pattern. And so, like I said, the first year I watched, they were here. I documented when they were here. Second year, it repeated itself. Third year, repeated itself, and it just went downhill from there. That was the secret. That was the way to predict when these beings were going to be here. No one else has ever done that before. All right. And I'm still yet to have someone else, prove me wrong. Go out there and prove, go out there and test what I'm saying here. Okay. And you'll come to find out that I'm right. And it took a lot of years to discover this, a lot of dedication years of watching these things to actually find out what's going on here. A lot of dedication work, a lot of research, a lot of hiking. Okay. Just so much information, that I've gathered, that took me the evidence, the proof, not the hearsay road, but the evidence road, dude. The evidence road. So much, I had to go that way, dude. That's where the proof is. This is what we're talking about today. Here we go. So we have the flying serpents out there on South Mountain. That's exactly what these things are talking about, flying serpents. Did I put this glyph in here twice? Looks like I did. Okay, so this is a serpent here. This is a serpent that you're gonna see here on one of my videos. All right. Now this petroglyph here was vandalized and taken apart by the CCC, the Civil Conservation Corps, back in the early 30s into the 40s during the New Deal Act. So they blew up a lot of petroglyphs on South Mountain and they made them as walls. But here you can actually see that the petroglyph is depicting a serpent. Here we go again. This is on South Mountain. I'm going kind of fast because I'm running out of time. So here we have over here. Look at this here. Okay, we have a being. Let's start over here on the bottom left. We have a being with 4 arms shooting at a serpent man UFO. Look at that. You see that right there? So he's half man, half serpent, half man, right? And then over here to the upper, or here in the middle, we have a regular man. We have 2 men, and he's shooting arrows. And unfortunately, that carving is missing. We have orbs here. We have a UFO orb there, and we have more flying serpents there. And then we have another guy with a bow and arrow in the middle, and he's shooting. He's shooting with the coyotes, looking at all the crazy stuff going on. Okay, we have another coyote up on top, and he's looking. Look, what direction are they pointing? What direction are these serpents oriented from? They're going to the right. Okay, so that's one way to understand these petroglyphs, on which way they're oriented to, which direction that they're going to. So if a coyote is going right, you want to go right. You want to look right. You want to go on your adventures right, because that coyote is facing, that is taking you to the next story. Is taking you to the next petroglyph panel. You know, some of the deers lay antlers. All right, are actually trail markers. It's a map. Okay, so you look at the deer, and he's got these crazy deer antlers. All right, you step back from that panel, and you look behind the panel. You look on the mountain wall there. All right, you look at the mountains, the landscape, and you can actually understand that these are trails. The antlers are trails. All right, so this deer is a map, and he's telling you, look, these trails here are the sacred trails on where to go to see the spirits, to see the gods. Okay, now I want to talk about this guy here real quick. The guy with the 4 arms, dude. Look at that shit. So I've seen a few panels of these on South Mountain. It's very hard to find. Some of them are blown up, and they're these ones with the 4 arms is really hard to find. Thank God that this was on Holbrook Trail, and he's actually, he's shooting up at a serpent there. Okay, so this is relevant. This is kind of relevant. I mean, it does seem like there was a war going on, that there was like a different type of race of beings, a different type of race of entities that were here. Okay, now when we look at the India legends, they talk about the Viamatis, right? These Viamatis and how they went to war. It was about the good aliens, if you will, against the bad aliens, right? Okay, so there was this war that was going on, and also some of these biblical scrolls say that there was a war in heaven, and mankind was their trophy. All right, so the India legends, they go a little bit more into detail here, and they say that they had these magical staff weapons. They had these weapons, right? And they were able to shoot these things out of the sky. They were able to shoot these entities and harness them and catch them, if you will. All right, and that's kind of relevant on what we're seeing here. Okay, we're seeing a four-armed stick figure guy, and he's got this magical staff weapon, if you will, and he's shooting. He's shooting. When you look into that petroglyph there, you can actually, on that rod, you can actually see that he's oriented. He's shooting at that flying serpent man. Okay, so. And when the 4 arms, look at what the India legends can see. Look at the art. like some of the like the tigers, and they have all these many arms. Look at the snakes, all right, and they have all these arms. Or these demon creatures, these painted demon creatures with like 7 arms. Okay, so that's relevant here. That is the exact same kind of story that we're finding here on South Mountain. So there was a war. There was a war here, and after that war took place, going back to what happened to the Hohokam Indians, okay, so it said that, the sacrificing stopped, so these beings came down and started taking people up, right? All right, but they were survivors. They were survivors to this Holocaust, and they were afraid, and they ran into caves. They ran into caves and they hid. Okay, this is all in Charles Holbrook's writings. This is the first park ranger, 1930s. This is what he says about what happened to the Indians here living on this land. He says that when these creatures were taking people away, the Phoenix Lights, the Quetzalcoatls, all right, the diamonds, the crazy things, that we see, when they're taking the people away, there were people that hid in caves and they were afraid, right? When it was all over with, all right, they knew that if they were going to continue to live on this land, that they would have to go back to war with these spirits of the earth and sky, back to war with the Phoenix Lights, just like back in the day, dude. All right, so there was a war, and these Phoenix Lights was trying to capture us, was trying to enslave us. Okay, look at what some of these old texts say when it comes to, I can't think of it now. Not the Anunnakis. Yeah, the Anunnakis. Okay, look at that text. Look at those texts when you read the text about the Anunnaki, dude. They were enslaving us. They created us. Blah blah. The first pages of the book says let's make man in our image. It doesn't say let's make man in my image. It says let's make man in our image. Who the hell is our? Okay, who the hell is our? There's so many references in that book when it talks about the winged men, and then when we look at the Anunnaki, the winged men. All right, so all of this is relevant. All of this is what is leading me down to this evidence here. Okay, and so it says that they went back to war, and they knew that they would have to go back to war with these Phoenix Lights. Okay, so they were afraid. So they buried all the gold. They buried the gold in the tombs, and they vowed never to come back into Phoenix. And they cursed this valley. They said whoever was going to live here was going to have to deal with these Phoenix Lights, was going to have to deal with these flying snakes and these diamonds and all this crazy shit that they're seeing in the skies, that we're seeing in the skies today. We're going to have to deal with those things eventually. Okay, when the bad stuff goes down, these things are going to be here, all right, and who knows what the hell's going to go on. But the Mayans, the people who witnessed this Holocaust, they were smart. They got the hell out of Dodge. They cursed this land, okay? They vowed never to return here into this land, all right? And they went back to their homeland, back to Mexico. This is what the first park ranger says about these Phoenix Lights. This is what he says about what really happened to the Indians. This is what happened. This is what the Phoenix fiery bird rose from the ashes of this formal civilization. Okay, that's exactly what this formal civilization is. It consists of bloodthirsty giants. It consists of winged angels, winged beings, creatures, demonic creatures in the sky. It's talking about sacrificing. It's talking about altars. Okay, it's completely the evidence. The evidence on the mountain, all the oral traditions, completely disregards what the archaeologists today wants us to believe about Phoenix, Arizona. There's no proof, man, of what that character is saying about Phoenix, Arizona, man. Let him just blow people's smoke up people's ass, dude, because that's bullshit. When you look at the evidence, when you go out there on the mountains and you see the altars, when you see the petroglyphs, when you understand the petroglyphs, when you see these creatures over the mountains, it all comes together, dude. That is what's credible. I don't care, dude. I don't care. So what? He's got this college degree. He's not telling people the truth here. He wants people to stay on the path, Do not go up the pass when you're up there on South Mountain. Why? Because when you do, that's where all the evidence is. That's where you find the answers. Do you think I'm staying on the path? Do you think I'm staying on these paths, dude? All right? No, dude. You have to get off the path to understand what's really going on, because that's where the truth is. That's where the story lies. Not on the path. Here we go. Here we have two stick figure guys. And what is he doing? He is looking up at a flying snake, a flying serpent. Okay, so, woo, now we got that out of our systems. Maybe there's one more. Okay, so this right here is on South Mountain. All right, this is Holbrook Trail. And what do we have here? We have an Indian. And you can see his headdress there. You can see his headdress. Then we have a goat. I guess there were goats here in Phoenix. I don't know. I don't see them anymore, but I guess they were here. And we have a flying snake in the sky. Now notice this. Notice how this carving is high up on a boulder. Okay, it's oriented in the sky. Okay, remember I said before, so when you look at the land, when you look at the art, look at the whole landscape. So this artist, he carved this carving high up on a ledge, high up on a high cliff. Okay, and the only way to get, I had to climb pretty high to get a photograph of that. All right, I saw it from way down here on the ground, but I had to climb very far high up to see that. Now, why is it high? Why did the Native American, why was it so significant? Why did he waste his time, endanger his life like I did, climbing so high up there to carve this photograph, to carve this carving? Why did I risk my life to go up there and take a photograph of it? Okay, because I'm bringing this information down to you. And what does it say? We're looking up. So the artist wants you to look up. He is telling us that this snake, this flying snake, was seen in the sky. This is the reason why when I took this photograph, see the sky in the background? Because that's important. Okay, that's important. The artist is telling us, look, right here, right in this sky, right there, right above in that blue sky is where he saw that flying snake. Okay? So when you see these carvings and they're really high up in the sky, it's a prehistoric photograph of what happened in the sky right there. Okay? They didn't have video cameras. They didn't have, cameras back then. They had stone boulders to record their sightings at in places where the event took place at. Okay? So it's carved up high because the artist wants us to look in the sky. He wants us to look up and see the carving because it is a written testimony of what he witnessed in the sky. Right? Right. Okay. Is that the last one? Can we get on to these sightings? Yes. Okay. Let's get on to some of these sightings. Now, this one here, this one is a new one. This one was reported in New York, okay, of this month. Okay, so look at these serpents here. Look at these serpents here. Okay, so apparently the guy's filming it with his cell phone. I recommend that you don't film these things with a cell phone. If you're going to go hunt for these things, use a video camera because cell phones, this is what happened. The guy, his cell phone just died, battery. I don't know what happened. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay? So look what this thing does. See that orb just got released there? You see that orb just got released? And then it's split in two. Look at that. Look at that. I have seen these things before. You see that? Let's see if I can find the petroglyph. Let's examine this video for a minute. Look at this petroglyph here. See? You see that? See see what I'm talking about here? It's petroglyphs in the sky. Petroglyphs in the sky, folks. Okay? This is what we are dealing with here. Look how that thing, and then it splits in two. It splits in two. You see that? These are not balloons. This is not special effects. This is not computer generated. This is stuff that has been seen before and has been carved on these holy mountains before. See that? We can get things straight here. Here we go. Look at that. You just can't deny the evidence here. Here we have a sighting that was taken just a few weeks ago. Okay. And now we have a petroglyph from completely on the other side of the country depicting the same thing. What is up with that? You see that? That's a great video. Great video. Now this one was taken in Mexico. No, these are not pool noodles. This is actually this was recorded in the sky. These are these flying serpents, these flying worms. Look at that. Look at that creature there. Look at that. See that? This was recorded, I believe, in 2005. And here we have the petroglyph that matches way over here in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. We have the exact same type of petroglyph carved here that we're seeing the video of. This is why it's called petroglyphs in the sky. Because this is what's credible. This is what's relevant. Is it spaceships in the sky? Is it crafts in the sky? Is it little green men from Alpha Centauri in the sky? No, it is petroglyphs in the sky, people. Okay? That is what's credible. That is what we can verify. We see the things in the sky today with our own eyes. We videotape with these things. We see these things. Did it just say 2000? Did it say 2000 there? Yeah, I missed it. I missed the date. And then we can go out on the rocks here, and we can see the prehistoric photographs, okay? That's what's credible, dude. That's what we can verify, all right? That's what makes everything so relevant, you know, so demanding, so, you know, I mean, proof positive, man, okay? And until we see something, you know, without computer-generated spaceships and stuff, we have to go with what we can prove. Look at this demon. Look at this creature. Let's look at this thing. This thing was filmed in Mexico. Look at that. This is what we are dealing with, folks. This is what is here. Okay? I've been trying to tell these, I don't know, so-called experts in this field, you know, you guys are talking about something that's not credible, something that can't be proven. Okay? This is what's here, people. These creatures, they're alive, man. They're not balloons, all right? They're living creatures. They're living entities. Look at the way they move. Let's examine this creature on how it moves. This is how we can find out and how we can tell on whether or not if it's a balloon or if it's a regular creature. Now look at the way it moves. See how slowly and in control it is moving. It's not bobbing around like balloons do. this thing is in control. Look at that scary thing. All right. This is why the government will never come out and tell you what is here, because a lot of people won't be able to accept this. They're going to run for their lives, and rightly they should, because look at this. Look at this here. It's shape-shifting. The archaeologists are calling them anthropomorphs. It's changing shape, okay? Look at these. Look at this creature here, okay? The flying serpent, the Quetzalcoatl. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what is really here. Not computer-generated spaceships and computer-generated, little green guys and someone trying to tell you in a book, to sell books, to say, I got abducted, or, these aliens came down and killed my dog, because they want money, dude. All right, they want money. The Phoenix Lights. Oh, this massive, long V-shaped craft went over Phoenix, Arizona. Here, buy my book, and it talks about nothing. Here, come see my movie as it talks about me, and it doesn't show any sightings. Let's exploit the lights. Len Kitai. Oh, yeah, I'm talking about you. Okay, dude, what is your trip? Get off your little high horse there and stop telling people bullshit, and let's get on with what's really here. And what's really here are living creatures. You see 5 lights out there in the sky. You're not looking at a huge spaceship. You're looking at 5 living entities, 5 creatures, okay? Get off of it, man. Not spaceships. V-shaped ship did not go over Phoenix, Arizona. I've been looking for evidence. It's been over 20 years. This is what I'm finding. I'm finding creatures. Now here, this is what I filmed. This is what I filmed coming off South Mountain. There's a lot more to this video. You can see it on my website, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. But this serpent and a bunch of orbs left South Mountain May 13th of 2006. Okay, now this serpent, this orb was sitting there in the sky motionless. And you're about to see this serpent go right up and meet that orb in the sky. Here we go. See that? That's a living creature. Here we go. You can see that the orb is motionless. The orb is not moving. But yet this black serpent is coming up next to the orb. Look at that. See that? The orb is not moving. Here comes the serpent. Look at that. I filmed this over South Mountain. These beings, these creatures left South Mountain. And I'm sorry, man. Balloons are not going to act like this. Okay, come on. Let's get real here, folks. These are not balloons. My stuff has been analyzed before it hit the news. The news in Phoenix, Arizona knows my stuff's credible. It's been looked at. Okay? I'm one of the most credible ufologists out here in the world today, dude. I'm telling you, look, man, it's not spaceships. These things are alive. These things are living creatures. They're living entities. I discovered these beings in 2005 here in the United States. When I was doing the UFO Hunter Show on the History Channel, they told me not to present my evidence. They said the people are not ready for this bizarre stuff, they said. But I'm the first one to film these creatures here in the United States. I'm the first one to ever match them anywhere in the world to the petroglyphs carved on the mountains. I'm the first one in the United States to come out and say, look, what we are dealing with here is not spaceships at all, is not crafts, but are living entities. Okay? No one wanted to listen. In 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all right? But years later, people are messaging me, sending me videos of these flying snakes, of these flying orbs, and they're like starting to realize, look, it's not a spaceship. They're not crafts. What we are being led to believe through people who have not done their homework are spaceships and green guys and being abducted, and my dog died because of an alien and all this crap, dude, right? Because they want to sell you a book. They're trying to make us look foolish. All right, especially the people who have YouTube channels, all right, and they're filming airplanes, and they're concocting CGI videos, right? Because they're making money off of you. They're making money off people who are gullible enough to actually believe what they're saying is true. All right? Am I doing that here? No, I do not collect any money from my YouTube channel. All right, but these people do. They make their money. They make their living off fooling people, into thinking that they're filming legit UFOs. Because they want you to believe that so you can pay them. This one I filmed in Phoenix, Arizona. This made video of the day. Look at that. This is like one of my favorite ones. Look at that. This is like a spider looking thing, right? A lot of people would say, "Oh, it's a ship, dude." No, I don't believe so. I don't believe this is a craft at all. It kind of has skin on it. If you look at it, when you slow it down, there's videos of this video being slowed down. When you look at it, it's changing shape. When you zoom in on it, it's got skin on it, dude. Okay? All right, so it's zooming across the sky there. I mean, it came down to the left of me. It zoomed past my window sill. All right, I'm changing. When it goes past my window sill, I grab the camera. I'm watching it. It zigzags in front of me, and then it shoots across the sky in front of me. That's when I start recording it again. Okay, and so it's going over towards South Mountain. Here it comes to the left. It's coming down on me. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I'm filming this creature, right? I'm filming it. It's coming pretty much close to eye level with me. I'm on the second floor of my apartment. Here it is. It's kind of in front of me. It's going past my windowsill. Okay, I grab my camera. I position it. I'm watching it. It is zigzagging over some palm trees. Boom, boom, right there in front of me, shooting off across the sky in front of me. I jump back on the camera and start filming it. This is what I caught. It's going up. It's going across the sky. It is cruising. It's heading towards South Mountain. It is going up. It is rotating. It is flipping around. This is not a drone. They didn't have drones back then in 2005. They didn't start selling drones to the public until 2007. This is not a balloon. This is not a Mylar balloon. This is a creature, okay? This is what we are dealing with in the skies today. One of my favorite sightings. This here, now this is crazy. This is just insane. This is crazy. Okay, I believe this was filmed in Mexico, all right? And I just love this sighting. This guy, he did a great job filming this creature, man. But look at this, dude. Look at this thing, man. We're gonna see it again. Don't worry, it'll repeat itself. But man, this is so wicked. And this is what's here, dude. It's not spaceships, man. It's creatures, dude. It's living creatures. It's living monsters, if you will. They're monsters. Okay? I don't know what else to say. They're not this is not technology here. This is not spaceships. I'm going to zoom in so you get a better look at this thing. Look at that. Look at this. Now look at that. Look how it's rotating like that, right? That is just crazy. Is that crazy or what? This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a spaceship here. This is not technology. This is a live creature. This thing is alive, right? Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you start seeing these things and you got to record them. Not with a cell phone. Use a video camera. Okay, so it looks like my time is about done. So here goes the flying serpents again. Don't forget about the flying serpents and the carvings. Did I show the one that I? Yeah, there's some videos that didn't last. Make sure you like, and subscribe to my channel. So there's videos that didn't seem to last. Yeah, there's missing videos. Okay, so, well, maybe we'll get to that on a different time. So, I'm out of time. Thank you so much for watching. And, if you guys see something, you videotape something, send it to me. I'd love to take a look at it. And make sure that you use a video camera, not a cell phone. Send me your petroglyph pics, your photos. And so, yeah, let's go from there. And so we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll see you next time.
Until the next exciting episode, keep your eyes in the skies. You never know what you might see.